Half a month before marrying Marcus, he invited his brothers over to our apartment. During the gathering, Marcus was constantly finding excuses to touch me inappropriately. After they finished eating, as I was clearing the dishes and passed by the home office, I happened to overhear their conversation. "Marcus, Grace is quite something. I touched her earlier, her body is so soft, it almost made me lose my mind. If you don't mind, after Grace has been used to settle his debts, let us have a turn with her. Whatever wants, we brothers will pay for it." Marcus chuckled softly, his voice nonchalant. "Fine by me. I don't mind. I've been sleeping with her for so long, I'm already sick of her. Besides, she's blind, so she won't find out." After 2 years of dating, I had cared for Marcus with meticulous devotion, yet now he was sending me to another man's bed, using my body to pay off his debts. In truth, I knew a year ago that someone else had taken his place. The one I shared intimate moments with every night wasn't him, and the child in my belly wasn't his either. Just as I stepped out of the shower, a warm male body embraced me from behind. He kissed his way from my ear down to my neck, leaving a trail of dense hickeys. But that wasn't enough for him. He turned me around, wrapped one arm around my waist, pressed the other hand against the back of my head, and kissed me fiercely. His kissing skills were as practiced as ever. A year of intimate moments every night had given him an intimate knowledge of all my sensitive spots, and I gradually melted into his embrace. When I felt his hand impatiently reaching downwards, about to lift my skirt, I immediately began to struggle. The man's movements ceased. He gently bit my lip, his tone reluctant. "What's wrong? Not in the mood tonight?" I knew he was puzzled. After all, when it came to intimacy, I had never refused him. The doctor said no intercourse during the first 3 months of pregnancy. The man's breathing hitched, and the hand wrapped around me trembled slightly. "Aren't you happy to hear you're going to be a father?" "No, I'm thrilled, so thrilled. I never thought I'd be able to." He was overjoyed, carefully carrying me back to the bed and lying on his side to protect my belly. Seeing my weary expression, the man turned off the light and fell silent. I subtly curved the corner of my lips. I was naturally very fertile. If anything, taking this long to get pregnant was what surprised me. As for Marcus, whenever we were intimate, he always used protection. Even if he accidentally forgot once, he would make sure I took birth control afterward. Since this man cherished the child so much, I wouldn't have to bother with an abortion. The next morning, the man beside me was gone. I went downstairs and ran into Marcus. His breathing was heavy, and I felt a gaze fixed intently on me. "The marks on your neck, was he jealous?" I subtly curved my lips. "It's all your fault, Marcus, you were too intense last night. My legs still ache." "The marks must be from then. Why do you look so puzzled?" "I'm just worried it'll look bad if you go out like that. Remember to cover them up." I vaguely agreed, without mentioning how a blind person like me was supposed to cover the marks myself. Marcus quickly ate a few bites of breakfast and then left, citing an urgent matter. I groped my way upstairs and turned on the listening device connected to his cell phone. Speaking of which, Marcus's grandpa had it installed when I first arrived, hoping we'd bond faster. I never imagined it would now serve as evidence of his betrayal. He soon arrived at a noisy place that sounded like a karaoke bar. A woman's sweet, simpering voice came through the headphones. I recognized it as Tiffany, Marcus's one that got away. "Marcus, everyone's been waiting for you forever. What took you so long?" The rustle of clothes suggested he had embraced Tiffany. He was probably held up by that scheming vixen at home. "Marcus, why do and you hurry up and appease Tiffany? It's understandable, though. After all, Grace's face, her figure. When can Marcus let us have some fun with her too?" A burst of grating laughter erupted, and Marcus spoke nonchalantly. "Fine by me. Once has served her purpose, you guys can have her then. Don't say I never look out for you. Marcus is so generous. Remember that voice message Marcus sent in the group chat?" Grace's moans. Man, I didn't sleep well for a whole week after that. I listened as they shamelessly fantasized about me, until Tiffany's voice spoke up. "When are you going to tell her the truth, Marcus? You're not actually planning to marry her, are you? She's already been passed around. Or how about we play her video at the wedding? Give her some notoriety, then send her off to the street punks. That would be doing a good deed." "No." Marcus's voice suddenly rose, and he refuted Tiffany without hesitation. The atmosphere on the other end fell silent. Seeming to realize his overreaction, Marcus began to explain. "My William, for some reason, really likes Grace. If he found out about this, he'd disinherit me, and Tiffany would suffer too. After we're married, it'll be much more cost-effective to use Grace to get you some jewelry. You guys agree, right? That's right, Tiffany, tell us what you want quickly. We'll see how long we need to sleep with Grace to make it worth it. That tiara Marcus bought you last time? He exchanged it for a year of Grace. Tiffany laughed again, her voice sweet and soft. Well, I'll have to give it some serious thought. She's getting off easy, though. Maybe she's even enjoying it. Laughter erupted on their end again. I listened to them talk, my thoughts drifting. I came from Willow, where all the women were beautiful and highly fertile. Grandpa somehow discovered our village. He had a grand shrine built for the local patron spirit, asking only for the village's most physically capable woman to bear a child. And I was the unlucky one chosen. Grandpa had Marcus marry me simply because Marcus had been diagnosed as unable to have children. Marcus was very good to me at first. I thought he used contraception because he wanted to have children after we were married. I never imagined I was just a tool for him to vent his desires when Tiffany wasn't around. When returned, he eagerly offered me up as a gift. My affection felt like a mockery. I didn't want to listen anymore, so I turned off the listening device. Marcus didn't come home all night, but that man arrived in the evening. Even though he couldn't be intimate with me, he still showed up. It seemed this child was truly important to him. I feigned ignorance and drank the soup he had prepared for me. Marcus would never cook. Marcus, when are we going to announce the baby's arrival? The man's breathing deepened for a moment as he touched my belly. Soon. I'll make sure my child has a proper status. I smiled contentedly. From the very first day they swapped places, I knew Marcus had deceived me. Though I was born blind, years of darkness had made my senses of smell and hearing extraordinarily keen. That day, when I returned to the room, someone eagerly embraced me. At first, I thought it was Marcus, but when I turned and smelled something unfamiliar, I knew a stranger was there. I struggled, refusing to let him succeed, and the man indeed didn't touch me again. But the villa had excellent security. How could such a predator have gotten in? So the next day, I cautiously questioned Marcus. Marcus, why were you so impatient yesterday? My period hadn't even completely finished. Marcus should have been furious to know I had been molested by a stranger, but he was silent for a moment before acknowledging it. It's just that Grace was too tempting, I couldn't help myself. I understood then. Marcus knew, that man was led in by Marcus. Fighting back the urge to let my tears flow, I forced a smile in front of him. So this was the painful taste of giving my heart to the wrong person. Grandpa's arrangement with the village was only until I gave birth. But he never specified who I had to have the child with. Since had given me to another, I wouldn't refuse. So, the next evening, when the man appeared again, I no longer reacted harshly. I walked over and leaned into his embrace, taking off my clothes one by one. Marcus, you don't need protection. Let's have a baby. Day after day, this deceptive relationship between the man and me continued for a full year. I pretended not to know he wasn't Marcus, and he pretended to be Marcus. By day it was Marcus, by night it was this man. They had such unspoken understanding, never appearing before me at the same time. Every time Marcus and I held hands during the day, the man would torment me even more fiercely at night, leaving me unable to get out of bed the next day. He forced me to say I love you over and over in bed, and he would reciprocate, saying he loved me too, each time. He didn't let me call him Marcus, only allowing me to call him husband at night. I had overheard him murmuring to himself when he thought I was asleep. Why marry him? Do you love him that much? You can't even tell the difference. In truth, I wanted to ask him the same. Why did he deceive me along with Marcus? I didn't even know who he was. When I treated him as Marcus, what did he treat me as? I was afraid to hear that he, too, merely saw me as a tool, so I dared not ask. The next day, Marcus returned early. He said Grandpa had specifically asked for me to attend his banquet today. I was dressed and primped like a doll, and finally Marcus helped me into the car. As the car door closed, my body stiffened. There was another person's breathing in the car. The perfume was cloyingly sweet and pungent. It must be Tiffany. Was she that impatient? Halfway through the drive, sticky kissing sounds broke the silence, followed by Marcus's muffled groan. His zipper was being undone. This made it impossible for me to pretend nothing was happening. After all, I was just blind, not deaf. Marcus, are you feeling unwell? I heard you groan twice. No, Grace, you misheard. I might just have a cold. I knew Tiffany was trying to provoke me, but I really didn't want to listen to their intimate acts. Did you catch a chill last night? I told you not to do that with me by the window. I feigned shyness. Marcus's side fell silent, and he pushed Tiffany away. Of course, no one enjoys being cuckolded. We soon arrived at the banquet. Grandpa pulled me around, introducing me to everyone. Most people were just polite for a moment before leaving. I knew they looked down on me, given my humble background and my blindness. Grandpa has excellent taste. This young lady is very beautiful. A man's voice reached me, and my pupils trembled. It was that man. Grandpa, who is this? Grandpa's laughter was hearty. That's Ethan, the head of the Fu family. Grandpa tells you, Ethan's talents are quite exceptional. At the same age as Marcus, he's already elevated the Fu family to new heights. If could learn from him, Grandpa would be much more at ease. Ethan seemed to have just come to say hello. He left after exchanging pleasantries. Midway through the banquet, I followed a server to the restroom, but when I came out, the server was gone. Unfamiliar with the way, I fumbled forward. Just as I reached a corner, someone wrapped an arm around my waist. A large hand muffled my scream. I recognized the scent of his body. It was Ethan. Scared? Don't you even recognize your husband? He was truly bold, daring to impersonate Marcus at a banquet with so many people. Seeing my silence, Ethan simply chuckled and kissed me. He only released me when I became dazed. I really wish this child would arrive soon. He's starting to affect our marital intimacy. I raised an eyebrow slightly. Hadn't he only bought me for a year? Was he planning to renew? Take me downstairs. If I don't return soon, Grandpa will worry. Ethan lingered, hugging me again, then summoned a server. I'll have him take you. I have something to attend to, so I'll leave first. As expected, he wouldn't dare show himself. This debt repayment game should end now. After the child is born, the arrangement will be over, and I'll be free. Whether it's Marcus or Ethan, I no longer wish to be deceived. The server led me through the garden and back to the main hall. In the garden, I happened to run into Marcus and his friends. Marcus saw me, and his voice immediately changed pitch. What's wrong with your mouth? It seemed Ethan had smudged my lipstick. He really was mischievous. Didn't you just kiss me, Marcus? Are you done with your business? I couldn't see Marcus's expression, but I heard his friend's suggestive laughter. All right, stop laughing, don't let her notice anything. Marcus reprimanded his friends in a low voice, but he clearly didn't realize how keen my hearing was. Well, Marcus has a side to him, doesn't he? But Grace, you should be careful. Since you can't see, you might not even realize if someone takes advantage of you. Tiffany's voice softly rose, filled with malice. That's very kind of you to worry, but don't bother. Marcus and my wedding is coming soon, and you're welcome to attend. I wonder when Miss plans to get married? You shouldn't linger among men for too long, it's not good for your reputation. You. Tiffany was enraged. She bit her lip, let out a choked sob, and ran off. Did I say something wrong? I'm so sorry. Marcus, go check on her quickly. We wouldn't want anything else to happen to Mississippi. I wore an innocent expression. In the end, Marcus still chased after Tiffany. In the following days, Marcus didn't come home. I knew he was busy appeasing a sulking Tiffany. Ethan, on the other hand, came every single day. Even when I ignored him, he didn't get angry. Now that I was pregnant, I couldn't be bothered with pretenses. When tried to kiss me, I pushed him away. Are you feeling down because of the pregnancy? He started showing up during the day sometimes, cooking meals, sending gifts, trying all sorts of ways to cheer me up. Seeing that I was still unmoved, he grew worried and suggested taking me to the hospital. I also worried about something happening to the baby, so I obediently allowed him to take me. I underwent a thorough examination at the hospital. The results were normal, I was healthy, and the baby was developing well. Yet I still wasn't smiling. Ethan crouched in front of me and asked, Grace, why exactly are you unhappy? Tell me, and I'll fix it. I opened my mouth, unsure what to say. What was there to say? That I knew he wasn't Marcus, that I knew he'd been deceiving me all this time? Even now, I couldn't be sure if he valued me or the child I carried. I sat in the hospital garden, listening to him reflect on himself, but he still didn't confess. From a distance, I thought I heard Tiffany and Marcus's voices. The footsteps drew closer, and Tiffany saw me. Isn't that Miss? What are you doing at the hospital? What's in your hand? Her voice trailed off abruptly. The prenatal checkup report in my hand was too obvious, and Marcus suddenly cried out. You're pregnant? Why are you pregnant? I feigned complete ignorance of the situation and simply retorted. Sir, why can't I be pregnant? My husband and I are getting married soon. That's not it at all. I'm the one who. Ethan suddenly cut him off. That's right. Our marital affairs are none of your business. This is outrageous, you. Marcus's voice was full of anger. He was about to step forward when he heard Ethan's next words. You're accompanying Miss to the hospital? Is Tiffany feeling unwell too? You two are truly affectionate. I suppose your good news is also coming soon. Marcus froze, rooted to the spot. He didn't dare refute, another word would surely reveal the truth to me. Tiffany, instead, laughed. She grabbed Marcus's arm and declared triumphantly. Yes, we're having our wedding soon too. We're just waiting for a certain problem to be resolved. To be honest, I'm also pregnant. I was startled, then burst out laughing internally. Tiffany was pregnant. Marcus had been diagnosed as infertile. Without a special physique, Marcus couldn't possibly have children. He really enjoyed cuckoldry. Well, congratulations to you both. I'm sure both sets of parents will be very happy to hear the news. We haven't told them the good news yet, but I think they'll help me clear any obstacles. I nodded, smiled, and pulled Ethan away. Tiffany called out after me again. Grace, remember to send me an invitation to your wedding. I want to share in the joy. I'll prepare a gift for you, something that will definitely surprise you. Alright, I'll be looking forward to it. Ethan drove me home. As soon as he pushed open the door, I sensed someone inside. It must be Marcus. He returned quickly. I grabbed Ethan's collar, pulled him closer, and kissed him passionately. He had been given the cold shoulder by me for several days, and now he seemed a little flattered, quickly wrapping his arms around me and deepening the kiss. The light switch clicked, pressed by Marcus. Ethan stiffened almost imperceptibly, but he showed no intention of letting me go. Instead, he kissed me until I was breathless before straightening up. Grace, go back to your room first. I have something to take care of. I nodded. As I went upstairs, I passed Marcus. I sensed he wanted to do something, but he ultimately remained rooted to the spot. I stood by the window. They weren't far away, and I could hear their words clearly. Marcus was furious. As soon as I left, he roared. Who told you to get her pregnant? I said no getting her knocked up. She's mine, we're getting married soon. Ethan, on the other hand, scoffed. Didn't you personally give her to me to pay off your debts? Tiffany's tiara was quite expensive, wasn't it? Since already pregnant. Why do you still insist on marrying her? Have you fallen for her? Marcus fell silent, stammering. I only like Tiffany, but she's the wife Grandpa chose for me. In any case, I'm definitely marrying her. What about Tiffany then? Well, Tiffany will just have to make a sacrifice then. At worst, I'll let her take her frustrations out on Grace. Grace can't do anything about it anyway, and she'll have to help us raise the child. Marcus was truly disgusting. I clenched my fists tightly. Ethan also seemed speechless. After a moment, he spoke coldly. I want this child. You cannot harm him, or the foo will not let you off the hook. I silently sat back on the bed, wondering how I would leave once the child was born. It was late into the night when my door was pushed open. This time, it was Marcus who returned. He came in, pushed me onto the bed, and started kissing me, tearing at my clothes, completely disregarding my protests. I protected my belly and struggled. Seeing it was no use, I bit him. He cried out in pain, abruptly stood up, his voice grim. Why won't you let me touch you? Do you remember I'm pregnant? I took a few shaky breaths, tightly clutching my belly. He remained silent. After a standoff, he suddenly came over and hugged me. He rested his head on my shoulder, and a few drops of water slipped into my clothes. Marcus was crying? What crocodile tears? Grace, I'm not ready for this child. Can you get an abortion? We can have one after we get married. His voice thick with a nasal tone, he predictably couldn't come up with anything remotely decent to say. Did you forget? You said you were looking forward to this child just yesterday. But, alright, Grandpa will be happy too when he finds out. You don't want to disappoint Grandpa, do you? I deliberately brought up Grandpa. Sure enough, he fell silent. He was afraid Grandpa would find out that he had given me away and that I was pregnant with someone else's child. This was your own decision, Marcus. You're unable to have children, and you can't blame anyone else for it. In the period leading up to the wedding, Marcus stayed home with me every day. He didn't go to see Tiffany, nor did he let Ethan come over to replace him anymore. He started trying to make me happy, buying me piles and piles of luxury goods. Yet I actually started missing Ethan. Marcus simply wasn't as meticulous in his care as Ethan was. I wanted to drink the soup Ethan made. Since I was pregnant, Marcus couldn't be intimate with me, so he wanted to kiss me instead. I was somewhat indifferent, but as soon as he came close, I started experiencing physical nausea. After I threw up too much, he stopped trying. He just stayed by my side, his voice despondent. Do you not like me anymore? As if I were the one at fault, I forced a smile and replied perfunctorily. Of course not. It's a normal pregnancy symptom, it'll be fine after I give birth. Pregnancy certainly made me tired, my sleep time had noticeably increased. The day before the wedding, while I was half asleep, I faintly heard Marcus's voice. Grace, I don't mind that you've had another man's child. You'll always be my wife. I won't let Tiffany make things difficult for you. Can't we just get along peacefully? He gently kissed my forehead. But, this isn't the old ways. I don't want any co-wife arrangement with you. I was about to be free. I had stopped loving you long ago. Now, I found you disgusting. The next day, I was woken up early to get ready, slipping into an exquisite wedding gown. After a long series of rituals, I felt utterly exhausted. Marcus, on the other hand, was ecstatic, excitedly greeting guests. The officiant stood beside me, speaking in a passionate voice. Groom, do you promise to abide by your wedding vows from this day forward, to love, comfort, honor, and protect her, whether in poverty or wealth, sickness or health, beauty or fading looks, success or failure? And will you remain loyal to her always, throughout your lives? Marcus took my hand and slipped the ring onto my finger, his tone serious. I do, he doesn't. Tiffany suddenly shrieked, interrupting Marcus's reply. Her gift, as expected, was a massive surprise. The guests whispered amongst themselves below the stage. At least now I was glad I couldn't see, sparing myself the sight of this awkward scene. Marcus loves me. I'm carrying his child. I'm the one who should be marrying him. I indifferently turned my head towards Marcus. He was fidgeting with his sleeves, unable to speak. What riffraff is crashing this wedding? Where are the bodyguards? Throw her out. Grandpa's tone was displeased. He walked up and reprimanded her sternly. I really am pregnant with Marcus's child. You can't throw me out. Marcus, say something. Tiffany, she really is pregnant with my child. Grandpa, knowing Marcus's physical condition, immediately lost his temper. You idiot. What child? That's not yours at all. Seeing the scene descend into chaos, and Marcus speaking up for Tiffany, Grandpa had no choice but to drop the bombshell. Marcus, you have fertility issues. You're simply unable to have children. Grace has a unique constitution. I specifically sought her out for you. Impossible. You're lying. How could Marcus have fertility issues? I'm not. If you don't believe me, let's go get tested. I'd like to see how you supposedly got pregnant with Marcus's child. Tiffany's voice gradually weakened. Of course, she knew whether she had slept with anyone else. Marcus grunted from his throat. He looked at Grandpa in disbelief. After desperately confirming that Grandpa wasn't lying, he flew into a rage. Tiffany, you bitch. I treated you so well, and you dared to betray me. Tiffany was also desperate. She hadn't expected her scheme to replace me to fail, and now she had incurred Marcus's hatred. But she was unwilling to give up. Her voice turned shrill as she tried to drag me down with her. So what if I'm not pregnant? Tea with your child? Grace isn't pregnant with yours either. Shut up. I didn't do that. Marcus quickly interrupted her. He glanced back at me in a panic, but I showed no change in expression. You beast, you really gave Grace to someone else to sleep with? Seeing his expression grow increasingly guilty, Grandpa immediately understood. He almost fainted, swaying unsteadily. Marcus didn't know that he was now completely doomed to be without an heir. In our lineage, one is truly bound to one person for life, and only the firstborn can carry on the bloodline for those unable to conceive naturally. Applause erupted from the audience. It was Ethan's voice. Since this wedding can't proceed, I'll be taking the bride. After all, she's carrying my child. No. Marcus quickly tried to stop him, blocking my way. What's wrong, young Cheen? Have you forgotten about that $6 million tiara? How about this, we let Miss choose who she wants to go with. Grace, believe me, I didn't. Amidst desperate pleas, I walked over and extended my hand to Ethan. He grasped it firmly. Ethan led me to the car. The atmosphere in the car was a bit awkward. Ethan remained silent, his sharp tongue gone when Marcus wasn't around. In the end, I couldn't bear it any longer and spoke first. Ethan, don't you have anything to say to me? Ethan's breath hitched. He asked softly. When did you realize it was me? I scoffed, my tone indifferent. You all thought you could fool me, that I was easy to trick. I'm only blind, it doesn't mean I can't hear. Your voice and Marcus's are completely different. So you knew from the very first day. No wonder you resisted so fiercely. Ethan nervously swallowed, then suddenly coughed. Then why didn't you say anything to me? Did you just silently agree to this, thinking I saw you as Marcus's stand-in? His way of thinking made me laugh in anger, and my words immediately turned sharp. Didn't you still use me to pay off debts? What, not enough action for you? I didn't force you to have this child. If we go to the hospital now, I'll get an abortion immediately. He immediately grabbed my hand, gripping it tightly in his own. His palms were even sweating. No, Grace, let me explain. I never thought of you as a toy. I'm truly happy about the baby. Then why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you confess that you weren't Marcus? He stammered, then seeing me try to pull my hand away, he grew anxious. I was afraid you truly liked Marcus. Every time I saw you before, you were so obedient to him. I was afraid you wouldn't accept me. Before? I narrowed my eyes. I didn't recall ever knowing Ethan. Why exactly do you like me? I don't think I'm that charming. Do you remember when you saved a child kidnapped by human traffickers, back when you were little? That was me. I had been searching for you all this time, and the moment you appeared, I recognized you instantly. I was stunned. I vaguely remembered the child I saved as a little girl. That small, scrawny boy back then was Ethan. I always wanted to repay you. After I acquired you, I originally intended to tell you the truth, but my selfish desires were at play, so I just went along with it. Your way of repaying people is certainly unique. I coldly lowered my gaze, saying nothing more to him. Although I might indeed have fallen for him, the experiences of this period and his deception were difficult for me to accept at the moment. Ethan didn't press me to forgive him anymore. From that day on, he followed me around eagerly, caring for me with meticulous devotion. Even when I was demanding and deliberately made things difficult for him, he didn't get angry, placating me time and time again. During this time, I genuinely hadn't thought about Marcus anymore. When I realized several months had passed, my belly had grown larger too. Ethan, what happened to the Chin family? Ethan paused his hand, which was peeling fruit for me, and softly muttered, why would you still be thinking about the Chin family? But he answered honestly nonetheless. After you left with me, Grandpa fainted. The first thing he did upon waking up in the hospital was beat Marcus and disown him from the Chin family, adopting a child from a collateral branch as his heir. As for Tiffany, Marcus retaliated against her quite brutally. He brutally beat her until she miscarried, and then sent her to a nightclub to be used by others. I was somewhat surprised, but felt no pity. After all, Tiffany had shown no mercy when she wanted to send me to the punks. At this point, Ethan's voice lifted as he came over to boast. Grace, I've already gotten revenge on everyone who disrespected you back then. Their families have all been bankrupted by me. What else do you want to do with them? Although I couldn't see, I could vaguely imagine him looking like a happy puppy wagging its tail. I sighed, praised him, and he happily went to make me some soup. Although was meticulous with me, he didn't restrict me from going out. I happened to hear his birthday was coming up, so I asked the butler to take me out to pick a gift for him. Immersed in the process of feeling for gifts, I didn't notice that fewer and fewer people were around me. Just then, a server came over and brought me a glass of water. I thanked them politely, then raised the glass to my lips. The cup, which should have contained plain water, had a strange odor. I carefully identified it, a faint plasticky smell. Was it saffron? Hadn't the butler arranged for specialized service? Why would they give water like this to someone obviously pregnant, with a large belly? I calmly put down the water, feigning confusion. Where's the butler? I finished choosing. Please come to pay. No one responded. The server beside me repeated the same thing. Miss, it's very dry in here. Drinking some water will be good for your health. A chill went through me. I abruptly stood up and ran towards the door I remembered. The server beside me held me down tightly, pinning me to the sofa. Who are you? I'm pregnant with a Fu family child. Have you considered the consequences of your actions? Stop struggling. Ethan told me to do this. He said you've been with others, so you're not clean, and he doesn't want your child. Ethan? Impossible. The meticulous care and affection he had shown me recently couldn't have been fake. I couldn't see his love, but I felt it vividly. More importantly, Ethan had told me. His family had always struggled with fertility issues, and he hadn't planned on having children in his lifetime. That's why he was so shocked when he found out I was pregnant. To say he didn't want my child was simply ridiculous. Impossible. Don't you dare slander him. Who sent you here? Such a short time was enough for you to fall in love with him? It was Marcus. He was here, as expected. Marcus scoffed coldly and slowly walked over. You should have married me. Ethan stole you away. I gritted my teeth and let out a cold laugh. Wasn't that when you used me to pay off your debts? Didn't you also want to give me to your friends for their pleasure? You said you loved me, but all you ever did was hurt me. Marcus, you're truly disgusting. Marcus sharply retorted, but there was a hint of weakness in his voice. It's not like that. Tiffany seduced me. I truly liked you. I just made a mistake. Why won't you forgive me? Once this child is gone, can we start over? Then you can have my child, and Grandpa will let me rejoin the Chin family. I'll be good to you for the rest of my life. He muttered to himself, his tone growing more confident. Are you insane? Only my firstborn can continue the lineage. If you abort this child, I won't be able to conceive yours either. Impossible. You're lying to me. I don't believe it. Seeing trapped in his own world, I gritted my teeth, refusing to let him pry open my mouth. Why are you so disobedient? You used to be so docile towards me. This is all Ethan's fault. Unable to force open my mouth, he harshly cursed Ethan and ordered the people nearby to hold my head still. My strength was rapidly failing. Just as the saffron was about to be poured into my mouth, the door was violently kicked open. The person holding me down and Marcus were both sent flying, and someone picked me up. I'm sorry, I was careless. Grace, how are you? We're going to the hospital right away. As for these two scumbags, lock them up. This isn't over. I wanted to tell him I was fine, but my body wouldn't obey, and my consciousness slowly faded. When I woke again, a pungent smell of disinfectant filled the air. I abruptly sat up and touched my belly. It's okay, Grace, the baby is fine, don't be scared. Ethan hugged me, soothing my rattled nerves. Where's Marcus? Don't worry, I won't let him get away with this. He'll never see the light of day outside a prison again. I couldn't think of any other way to get revenge on him, so I tacitly agreed to Ethan's plan. This incident had truly terrified me. I didn't go out alone again until close to my due date. I was the one about to give birth, yet Ethan was the most anxious. Grace, don't be afraid. I've arranged for the best doctors, nothing will go wrong. If anything does happen, protecting you is my first priority. His voice was trembling, and I soothingly patted his arm. Ethan thought for a moment, then hesitantly asked, once the baby is born, when will you make our relationship official, Grace? I smiled, touched my belly, and after a moment of thought, replied, after my postpartum recovery, if you're good. Ethan's love gave me the courage to face anything. I was free. From now on, I would choose my own path. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section. Feel free to share your opinions, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. See you next time.